What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at brandmasteracademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn how to find your sustainable competitive advantage. So you don't just gain an edge over the rest, but an edge that will stand the test of time. Now, there are certain companies out there that have a sustainable competitive advantage over their nearest competitors. In layman's terms, this means that they are absolutely bossing it. They're bossing it so hard that they dominate their product market share and their competitors can't get close to their profit margins. So what is a sustainable competitive advantage? Well, the essence is this. Some companies have worked out that they can meet their customers' needs better than the competition. And the result is that they perform better. So if they do this consistently over a longer period of time, they're said to have a sustainable competitive advantage. Now, the reasons companies or brands succeed in this way vary. There are different types of competitive advantages based on things like consumer loyalty, core competencies, price power, and market research, to name a few. So how do you go about finding a sustainable competitive advantage for your brand? Well, first off, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. There is no silver bullet or quick fix that guarantees any kind of success. That being said, there are proven processes that can help you to find a competitive position. This, in turn, gives you a great chance of finding a competitive advantage for your business and your brand. Step number one is to segment your audience. Now, as the old saying goes, you can't please everybody. Your product cannot have everybody as the target market. You need to get specific and segment your audience so that it's more narrow than it is vague. For instance, instead of targeting men, narrow that down to stylish single men in their mid-20s. Number two, develop a buyer persona. Now, building on step one, your buyer persona is a fictional character that represents a specific potential customer segment. So you may have more than one segment, but get each one as specific as you can. You need to know their likes, their dislikes, their hopes and dreams, their aspirations, their biggest fears, and their biggest desires as well. So really get really granular with who your audience is, because the more you understand about them, the more you feel connected to them, the better your messaging is going to be, the more you're going to be able to resonate with who they are. Now, a really good starting point to do this is to uncover their demographics and their psychographics, and that is essentially the situations and circumstances of their lives and their behaviors as well. The demographics you aim to uncover can include information such as their age, their gender, their ethnicity, geographic location, marital status, and income, to name a few. Knowing these for your buyer persona will help you to build a picture of what their life looks like. Then their psychographics are what really makes them tick, what their personality traits are. And, we're talking here about really getting into their psyche, what makes them tick, what they believe, what they do on a daily basis, what they do to entertain themselves, what kind of restaurants they go to, what music they listen to, what sports or hobbies they have, because this is where their passions really lie, and we can learn a lot about our customers by really understanding their behaviors. Number three, evaluate the competition. Now, your audience is out there. They already exist. They are people within the market, but who also exists are your competitors, because they're already out there providing their services or their products to your potential customers. So you need to understand exactly who these competitors are, but not just who they are, what they're actually doing, what they're doing well, what they're not doing so well, because it's in what they're not doing so well where the opportunities lie. Now, of course, we can learn a lot through what they are doing well and what your customers like about your competitors, and the differences that they offer, and what kind of value they place on that difference. But there are also a lot of opportunities to be had, and there are gaps within the market for unmet needs where the needs of your potential customers are not being met, and these gaps represent an opportunity for you to develop a position that is completely unique, to give them something different and an alternative to what's already out there in the market. Now, a tool that we can use to find those gaps and opportunities is by using a market map. Now, a market map essentially looks at how your competitors fit within two variables shown through 4 quadrants on a graph. So in doing this exercise, you can plot where your competitors lie, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and where those potential gaps are in the market. If you have a quadrant that's not being filled and there's potentially some value within that quadrant, then you will be able to go in there and fill that gap and provide your audience with something that they don't already have. Now, as a hypothetical example, a cafe might look to their local market area and plot all of their competitors on a market map, and they might use the variables fast and slow and cheap and premium. And they might plot a lot of their competitors in the fast and cheap area of the market map, and that might leave a gap towards the bottom or top, depending on where they plot those points, to show that there is a gap in the market for a more premium, slower kind of service, one that doesn't focus on how fast it is, but more takes the time to really enjoy the process, and to sell that nostalgia about the coffee beans and taking the time within your day to slow down. Now, this is a relatively simple example, but market maps can really help you to visualize a gap in the market, to find an opportunity for your brand to position effectively. Number 4, evolve your gap into an idea. So finding a gap is great. If you find a gap in the market, that is the first point of finding a competitive position or your positioning strategy. But a gap is not a fully fledged idea. You really need to develop that out. And when it comes to evolving this idea, go as big and bold as you can possibly be. You can always scale that back later on, but think big. Think as big as this idea could possibly be, and really branch out different directions and different opportunities that may lie within this gap. So really take the time to apply some creative and strategic thinking to this and give it the time that it deserves. If you really push this idea as far as it can possibly go, you could end up with 3, 4, or even 5 potential positions for your brand. Number 5, define your competitive advantage. Now, if, and this is a big if, you've evolved your opportunity into a fully formed idea that you know is a winner, then the hard work really begins. Just because you think you have a winning idea, it doesn't mean that your target audience is really going to go for it. You need to put in a lot of work, a lot of effort to communicate the idea and make it sit within their mind as to exactly why they should value it, why they should want it, why you're different, what experience they're going to get that they're not going to get with your competitors. And you need to make sure that you've really defined that position, and that makes sense. You've got clarity within that position, and as your messaging goes out into the market, your audience can see that you offer something different, that you offer a value that's not already there in the market, or at the very least, a unique way of providing that value that your competitors don't offer. Now, once you've found your competitive advantage, you want to document that in a positioning statement. Now, a positioning statement is not a client-facing piece of marketing. It's really an internal document for clarity within the brand leadership team to understand what exactly they're going out into the market and saying. Because if the brand leadership team don't have clarity on their position, then nobody outside the brand is going to have that clarity. So it acts as a document that guides decisions and actions, and ultimately marketing communications as well. So I'll give you an example here. Amazon is for customers who want to purchase a wide range of products online with quick delivery. Amazon provides a one-stop online shopping site. Amazon sets itself apart from other online retailers with its customer obsession, passion for innovation, and commitment to operational excellence. Now, as I said, this is not a piece of marketing, and it's probably good because it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. But what it does do is it provides clarity within the brand internally as to why Amazon is different, so that they have that navigational compass. They know when they go out into the market and they communicate the brand, and not only communicate the brand, but within the operations as well, that they are focused on that customer experience. They are focused on that end-to-end innovative and fast, quick, and easy experience that people have now come to know and love about Amazon. It's so easy now to jump on Amazon and buy something really, really quickly. And that's the position that they have taken in the market, and that's what they want their customers to experience every single time. Now, look, in all honesty, finding a sustainable competitive advantage is like finding a unicorn. I'm not saying that it's not possible to find a competitive advantage in the market. It absolutely is. And you should aim for a sustainable competitive advantage, because the more sustainable your advantage is over your competition, the longer you're going to stand out in front. When we think of sustainable competitive advantages, though, we think of the likes of Amazon or Nike or Apple. And in all reality, creating an advantage like that is very, very difficult. That said, this process is still the same to finding your competitive advantage. But if you aim for the stars, you might just hit the clouds. So really try to push your process as far as it can possibly go. Look into the market, try to find those gaps and opportunities, develop those gaps out into ideas. And as I said, you might get 3, 4, 5 ideas if you do this well enough, and then hone in on one of those to develop it out into your competitive advantage and ultimately your brand position. But remember, finding an effective position is not just about being disruptive. There are only 1 or 2 brands that can sit at the top of each category, but there are many brands that can be very, very successful sitting in the number 3, 4, 5, or 6 position. But it's all about really thinking about who that audience is, what they want, and how you can give them what they want in a unique way when compared to your competitors. Now, if you want to dive deeper into brand strategy, I'm going to leave a video up here that will help you do that. But before you click on it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe if you want to become a master of brand. I'll see you in that next video.